What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another hot topic. I'm Coach Dacia, and today we're diving into something that doesn't get nearly enough attention: recovery and rest, especially when it comes to bone health. There's this common belief that more is always better with exercise. But what I've seen again and again is that for women over 50, and particularly those with osteoporosis, the magic often happens during recovery periods, not just during workouts. So today, let's talk about why rest isn't just important, it's absolutely essential for your bone health journey. First, let's address what happens to recovery as we age. This isn't about limitations, it's about working smarter, not harder. As we get older, our hormonal environment changes. Estrogen, which plays a huge role in both muscle recovery and bone health, decreases. This means the repair processes in your body simply need more time. Studies show that women over 50 may need up to 1.5 to 2 times longer to recover from the same workout compared to their younger counterparts. This isn't a weakness, it's just biology. Your muscles and bones are still absolutely capable of adaptation and growth, but the timeline looks different. When you honor this reality instead of fighting against it, your results actually improve. One thing I see frequently is women pushing through multiple days of strength training without adequate recovery, then wondering why they're exhausted, sore, and not seeing results. Remember, your bones get stronger during rest periods, not during the workout itself. So, how do you know if you're not recovering properly? Let's talk about some clear signals your body might be sending. Persistent fatigue is the biggest red flag. If you're still tired 24 hours after a workout, or if your energy levels are consistently dropping, that's your body telling you it needs more recovery time. Joint pain that lingers more than a day is another warning sign. Some muscle soreness is normal, but ongoing joint discomfort means you're not fully recovering between sessions. Sleep disruption is particularly important to watch for. Ironically, overtraining often leads to poor sleep, creating a negative cycle that further impairs recovery. And pay attention to your motivation. If you're normally excited about exercise, but suddenly dreading it, your body may be asking for rest. These signals are particularly important as we age, as our body's stress response system becomes more sensitive to overtraining. Now for the practical part. What does effective recovery actually look like? First, let's talk about workout spacing. For most women with osteoporosis, 1 to 2 days between strength training sessions targeting the same muscle groups is ideal. This doesn't mean not moving at all, it means varying your focus. Hydration becomes even more critical with age. Our thirst signals actually become less accurate as we get older. So, being intentional about water intake supports recovery at the cellular level. Protein timing and amount matter too. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein within an hour after strength training, and then consistent protein intake throughout the day. Your body's ability to synthesize protein from a single meal decreases with age, so spreading it out is key. Sleep quality deserves special attention. During deep sleep is when your body releases growth hormone that repairs tissues. So prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep isn't indulgent, it's productive time for bone health. And finally, don't underestimate the power of active recovery. Gentle movement like walking, swimming, or yoga between strength sessions actually enhances blood flow and speeds healing. Let's talk about periodization. This is just a really fancy word for strategically planning harder and easier training periods. So you may have seen this or heard of this before. Let's say somebody's on an 8 week strength training session. They may do 7 full weeks of strength training workouts where they're progressing during those 7 weeks. But by the eighth week, they actually decrease some of their repetitions, maybe even their sets, and definitely their weight, calling that the deload week. The traditional approach of constantly pushing harder doesn't work well for bone health, especially as we age. Instead, consider working in cycles: 2 to 3 weeks of progressive challenge, followed by a lighter recovery week. Now, during your recovery week, reduce the weight or intensity by about 30 to 40%, but maintain your movement patterns. This gives your bones time to respond to the previous challenge without losing momentum. This approach is backed by research showing that bone cells actually become somewhat desensitized if consistently exposed to the same level of stimulus. Periods of higher challenge followed by recovery create the optimal environment for bone adaptation. Perhaps the most important aspect of recovery is the mindset shift. In our culture, we often equate rest with laziness or lack of commitment. This couldn't be further from the truth when it comes to bone health. Strategic rest is productive time. It's not doing nothing, it's actively creating the conditions for your body to strengthen itself. This shift in perspective can be challenging, but incredibly liberating. I often tell my clients, trust the process. The workout is the stimulus, but recovery is where adaptation happens. By embracing recovery as an equal partner to exercise, you're actually fast tracking your results, not slowing them down. So, to wrap up today's hot topic, recovery isn't just about feeling better, though that is important. For women with osteoporosis, proper recovery directly impacts how effectively your bones respond to exercise. So remember, more isn't better, better is better. And better includes giving your body the time and resources it needs to strengthen itself. So I'd love to hear in the comments below, what recovery strategy are you going to implement this week? Or do you already have a recovery practice that's working well for you? Let us know. And that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week for another hot topic.